So I was out walking last weekend with my friend and my dog, thinking about what I was going to talk about, when out of the bushes he runs with a dead rabbit in his mouth. I'm really squeamish. I absolutely hate half-dead things, and I'm a bit of a wuss. And my friend turned to me and said, "Look, Steve, he would be absolutely delighted. He would get that rabbit, he would skin it, he would gut it, and he would cook it." Steve is our caretaker. So this is my dog looking all pathetic, but not. Steve is our caretaker. He's a man that can do anything in the media centre. He's descended from a Romani family who've been collecting, who've been foraging, and who've been raising food for generations. When he was 16, he ran off to the theatre and the circus. And in the big top, he realised that he had a lot of skills. He's transferred those skills back to the media centre. Our first exhibition was where we had to suspend 18 speakers from the ceiling. Steve was able to do that. So what you've probably realised is that I'm going to talk about knowledge. And a little bit of that knowledge that I could have had from Stephen would have taken my nightmare scenario, my nightmare dead rabbit, straight into a pot. Okay. And I'm going to talk to you about a project called University of Local Knowledge. It's a project that we have worked with the whole entire community. Change the slide. I'm not talking on behalf of people, nor am I trying to represent a community. What I'm talking about is what I've learned from working on this project. Next slide. So 5 years ago, we started thinking about how we could collect, reveal, and show a lot of the skills that are in Knoll West, the expertise and the experiences that reside there. And we wanted to involve a lot of people. So we started talking, and we had a big launch. 250 people came to a launch. We had a sit-down, hog roast. We had a really special meal, and we all kind of talked about what kind of thing we could do, how we could kind of get that knowledge out there. And we wanted to develop this project with some other organisations and some other people in order to think about it in a much wider way. Local focus with a national and a citywide significance. So we started developing it with an artist called Suzanne Lacey. I don't know, some of you might know her. She's an artist, she's an activist, she's a writer, and she's an educator, and she's very well known for her large-scale, ambitious performances. Yeah. We also work with some other partners, and are still working with these other partners. So University of Bristol, Arnolfini, University of West of England, BBC, Art in the Public Realm, and they work with us in lots of different ways. So now what I want you to do is I want you to think about something that you know, something that you might have learnt at school or college, something that might be a bit of a life experience, and something that you might be able to share with your neighbour. My experience of being in Knoll West is that a lot of people don't value and recognise the skills that they have. They don't acknowledge these kind of things. It's something for them that has come out of experience, it's come out of circumstance, it might have come out of solutions to their situations. It's in the body. You don't get certificates for it, nor is it written down in big textbooks. So these are some of the people I thought I'd show you, but I'm not clicking it, so we're trying to keep up with the slides. Lots of different people, lots of different experiences, from going out, as I said, catching rabbits, to pigeon tipplers, to being DJs. So how do we value and share and explore these knowledges for others to learn from? Well, we decided what we would do is collect them. We'd collect them on film. So we started the process. We talked to a lot of people. This took quite a long time. We decided that we'd also create 900 short films. The population is 15,000, there's 5,000 households. We were aiming for 1,000. So I want to show you now some of the just a little snapshot really through the films and for you to see some of those experiences. And for me, it was really important and made a lot of difference to how I felt of myself as an expert.
You know, I love my horses. I do not spend a fortune on them because I have not got a fortune, but my horses don't, as such, go without. My dad taught me everything there was to learn, but a lot of it, we were down to bits of rope and bits of string to hang on to them with because we couldn't afford it. I do claim I know a reasonable amount about horses. I'm always willing to learn, but I left school not being able to read or write. The love of horses and being able to read the back of a food packet and what was best for my horses encouraged me to go back to college and try and learn to read and write, which I did. Not everyone are the same academic standard. If you're slightly behind, you may have a hobby or an interest that can help you gain knowledge in other things. It's the want to learn, and I think if there's something that you like and enjoy, you will learn without even realising what you're doing. I then went off to college to do British Horse Society studies. Now, they told you everything was black or white. You had to have leather this or that, and you had to pay £50 for a bag of horse feed. And I did think, hang on a minute, because the way I was brought up, if you need to make do with a piece of string, you make do with a piece of string. And from those two different angles, I've ended up in the middle. I've got horses, lots of people can't afford horses, but I find a way to do it. And, you know, we get on. It seems to be what we don't spend on some things like going to the cinema. We plough back into our horses and everybody's happy.
And this is John.
The phantoms is in your head, but it's true. And they're terrible. I would sit like that, all of a sudden a phantom would come on, and you just jump up in the air, like nerves. And you go up, well, up there, just nerves, look. And you stay like that for about 2 or 3 minutes. And you'd be shaking like that. We went away for the weekend then. We're having our meal, when it's having our meal, and the table went up. Because my leg was under the table, and the phantom was starting, he just lifting the table. So I moved myself out of the way, let the table down. He just goes up, look. And then you got to just go, we went in our room and just, I had to set it down, wait for it to go. I mean, it could take 2 minutes, take 3 hours. But like they said, some gets it, some don't. But I'm not getting it half as much now as I used to. If you want to itch, say, so I want to itch that. No, don't itch that. Itch your other leg. Go down to your ankle, itch your ankle, and that relieves your other leg. You think you got pain in your leg, so it goes down to, and there ain't no leg there, is there? People don't believe you. But it's true. I mean, what do you want to make up things like that for?
And then finally, 2 young lads.
What should we plant here next week? What, cabbage or cauliflower?
I don't get bored because I just feel proud all the time when I look round and just see everything growing, and then just keeps me going and just wants me to grow more and more.
There's a lot of activities going on in Knoll, but not many that would take my fancy, so this is my activity, my hobby, so this is what I mainly do.
I don't just like want to go down the path where you just get in trouble all day, every day. It is strange for a boy of my age to come up and do it, but I just get away from everything and just have fun, and then I just get fresh fruit and veg.
I enjoy being here because you just sit here, watch everything grow, watch the world spin around you. It's relaxful, peaceful, and you get away from everyone, the streets, and you're just up here with your friends, just doing some gardening.
So what you didn't know was in another room behind John, he's his wife was crying because that was the first time that he'd talked about his phantom pain to anybody. So a lot of these films that we made, for people it was really significant because it was about validating that knowledge, it was about showing it, and it was about exploring it. So it's one thing to collect 900, you know, I am grey under here, but it's another thing to then show it and share it. So we had a series of screenings in Knoll West, and the first one we had, 100 people turned up. And they were really excited. There was one of the comments that I remember hearing was that somebody said, wow, they all look so confident. And what it did was it validated that knowledge. It allowed people to acknowledge it, and it surprised people with all of the wealth of the knowledge that they found and they heard about. So we think, you know, it's really important to share that knowledge. And what I would say to you is, how many degrees do you need to be an expert? So we did a lot of the screenings, we showed it and we shared it. People got really enthusiastic, but also part of the process for us was about going out to knowledge brokers in the city. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to think about scale, we wanted to think about ambition, and we wanted to think about how you connect the local with the rest of the infrastructure in the city. And so for me, it's really, really important that I tried to get across to you some of the experiences, some of the skills, some of the expertises that reside in communities, that in order for us to become a city that is proud of what we do, that's inclusive, as Stephen said, we need to make sure that we value everybody's experience. And I just want to finish on a final note, not my dog, but I want to just say that one of the funny things that somebody said to me when I was out, one of the contributors, they said, hey Penny, do you know you can't have knowledge without Noel in it? And that's it. Thank you.